Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing: single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in The Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink! Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss the screening happening tonight of the movie Colorado Whiskey at the ABV Barrel Shop. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Bo Cumberland, Kathy Poole, and Tracy Napolitano.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Tracy hasn't been on for a while, but Tracy, how you like this? You come back, and McNew now knows how to say your last name. She's been working on that for a couple of years. So
about time.
Yeah, we said you can't come back on until McNew can say your name right, and she finally got it last week.
Taking her a couple of years.
Yeah, took her several years, but she's good now. Now she's good. Yeah. So, remember the first time they put 10?
Nobody got it right the first few times.
And I just stopped trying. Also, I was like, I don't know. There's too many syllables. I didn't even try.
So we're going to be talking today about the movie Colorado Whiskey. It's kind of cool. We got Bo here. Certainly, he's done an amazing job putting this together. And it's a movie that's been out for a little while now on, Amazon Prime and a couple other outlets and things like that. But we're doing a screening, so it'll be an in-person thing at the ABV Barrel Shop. Tickets are still available, so if you are interested in coming out for the screening tonight, you can pick those up over at abvbarrelshop.com. Jump in now before the end of the show because people are going to be buying those tickets, and they'll be gone by the time you wait to the end. So jump on now. There'll be a Q&A at the end, all that kind of stuff. We'll get to that, though, after the break. For right now, Kathy said there's something she wants to talk about. What is that, Kathy?
I do. We're talking about movies.
Yes.
You would never walk out on Steve's movie, but
sure.
Have you ever gone to the movies and could not make it through? It was so awful and left.
Yes. I'll handle this one first. This was early dating of now Mrs. Akeley. So I was, when we started dating, I was 16 when we started dating, but I turned 17 shortly thereafter. She was 15, so 16 and 15 when we started dating. And we went to a movie called House on the Edge of the Park. And it was like this band in 73 countries or some crazy shit and all that. And we go there. And this was the mid 80s. It was probably shot in the 70s. I don't know, or something like that. But it was like a horror movie that was we're early on dating, and it's like it starts out with like a rape scene or something like that. We just got up and left. I was like, this is not. I thought this was gonna be a horror movie. It was, first of all, the acting from the get-go was just terrible. It looked very, very dated, and this rape scene, we're out of here. So yes, we left, and there was several other people got up at the same time we did, and the manager, I think, gave us our money back because we were just like, we're leaving, and they're like, okay. So yes, that was the only movie I've ever walked out on, though. That's it. So yeah. So first movie with the future Mrs. Akeley.
How many dates in were you when you took her to the movies?
That was early, so I want to say that was probably second or third date. It wasn't the first date, but second or third, something like that. So. You're talking 1985 is when we started dating. So sometime in early 1985. So there you go.
Hmm.
There you go. Had to get out of there. House on the Edge of the Park.
Never heard of that one.
And it's bad. It's bad. At least what I saw, which was a few minutes. I'm sure it could have gotten any better. I don't think that one turned around. So yeah. So yeah. Well, so what else? Anybody else walk out on a movie ever?
I walked out on 2.
Okay. Let's hear.
There are gonna be some haters coming out on this one. The Star Wars with Jar Jar Binks. I walked out of that one.
Yeah.
And then the third Matrix was awful.
Okay. Couldn't make it through, huh?
No.
Okay. All right. Nothing offensive, just bad movie making in both
Just
those
bad
examples,
movie,
right? Yeah. Mine was.
I know the Star Wars fans are gonna hate that, but
right. Well,
Jar Jar Binks was awful.
I think even they have to admit Jar Jar Binks is bad, right?
Yeah.
There's nobody defending him and be like, no, he was great. You're not getting him. No, I don't think anybody liked Jar Jar Binks. So universally despised. So yeah.
So was that the first of the second round of Star Wars? Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess
for me it's episode 4, but
was it 4?
They had the 3 that were the original trilogy, and then that was the 4th one to come out. Though it doesn't work out that way in the storyline, of course. But if you're old like me, to me, Star Wars started and ended with that episode 3, and that was.
Yeah, I haven't seen a Star Wars since we walked out of that one.
Yeah.
I watched none of the whatever there was.
Yeah.
Releases.
Yeah. It continues to go on. That whole world goes on, but not with me or Tracy in it. So there's other people that are into it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, you were. What about you? You walk out on anything?
I've never walked out of a movie. However, I was going to say that one is the closest. So
he stood up a couple times, but then.
Well, no, I was. A buddy of mine was getting married, and so the night before his wedding, he instead of going to a strip club.
It's a terrible bachelor party.
Yeah. Well, instead of doing anything cool like that, he wanted to go see this movie. And so I was like, okay, it's Star Wars. It's got to be good, right? So you go into it, and literally it's this, all it is like 2 hours of this like Senate like meeting or whatever, trying to explain all this stupid stuff. So I literally wanted to just.
It's like watching C-SPAN.
Star Wars C-SPAN. That's all it was. But these buddies of mine, they were.
What saved him was he loved the character Jar Jar Binks.
They were eating it up and loving every second of it, and
yeah, okay.
I wasn't at all.
All right. McNeil, what about you? You ever walk out on one?
I have never walked out because it's bad. I actually enjoy bad movies because, like, sometimes they're so bad they're good, and I just
sometimes
like the ridiculousness of a lot of them. But one we did walk out on was, remember when Jim Carrey did A Christmas Carol and it was 3D and you would go to the IMAX and get the glasses?
Yeah.
Like, we took my mom and she gets very motion sick. So we had to take
that's a
her
bad
out.
move. That's a bad move.
Merry Christmas, Mom.
Yeah.
Throw up everywhere, yeah. So we did leave that one, but not because it was bad.
Okay, just because the effects got to mom. So yeah.
Can't handle that.
Still, you walked out, so that counts. That counts. Yeah. All right, KK, how about you? You asked the question. Have you walked out on a movie?
I did. I walked out on a movie that starred Anthony Hopkins, Matthew Broderick, John Cusack, and Bridget Fonda. It was called The Road to Wellville.
Oh.
It was.
I
had to look it up. It's from 1994, and I
saw that on video. Yeah, it's about the Kellogg guy. Yeah.
Just had to. It was. Yeah, I just left.
Yeah. I walked out on that one too, but that was on video at my house, so I was just stopping it. Yeah. So it wasn't really an exit of the movie theater. So yeah, I barely go to the movies now, so there's not much chance of me walking out of a movie. I kind of do, but I don't know. To me, it's kind of a pain anymore. It's just,
haven't been since COVID.
The pandemic, I'm like, let me pay $20 to stream it at home. I do not want to go to a theater anymore.
Right.
I watch it at my house.
Theaters, just kind of. It's, I don't know. For me, it's.
I'm going to stand up for them. I love the experience. I love the big sound. Yeah, I love being in the middle and just immersing myself in the big screen and all of that stuff.
Yeah, but they took out all the seats and then they replaced them with 30 seats now. But it's all about waiter service and all that.
You get to pick where you sit when you buy your ticket.
I don't. None of that appeals to me. I like the old theater experience. I like the good sound. I like having a crowd there. But they've removed most of the crowd. Like I said, most theaters now hold like 30 people. But
you got those big seats now, so you don't need to leave. You can just recline and go to sleep.
Yeah, people are sleeping.
Yeah, no one's leaving the movies anymore.
Someone's bugging you every 2 minutes to see if you need anything else. You need another drink or anything like that. This last call. I'm like, I'm watching a goddamn movie. We have the last call my ass. Get out of my way. Yeah. So I don't know. That's not my thing, but yeah. Well, I like Quentin Tarantino movies. That's what I want. If he ever comes out with another one, I'll go to the theater to see that.
Do you have a favorite Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yes, all of them. Yeah,
all of them are equally awesome.
Pretty much.
So if you could only watch one Quentin Tarantino movie for the rest of your life. And not any of the others.
I would probably watch Inglourious Bastards. Probably that one.
Oh, I know, right? Isn't that fun?
That's a really good
I feel
one.
like the Hateful Eight didn't get enough love. I love that.
I love the Hateful Eight. I love that movie.
Other people don't love it the way I do, and I'm like
Django Unchained. I love that movie too.
That was good.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Reservoir Dogs. I like Jackie Brown. I don't think most people like Jackie Brown because it's slow and it's dialogue driven. I wish I could write that sort of dialogue. For me, it's like, man, I wish I could write a movie like that. So yeah, Tarantino is the guy. But yeah, there's a lot of people don't like him. And I, as a person, I don't necessarily like Quentin Tarantino. He's a strange dude.
Weird guy.
But he just makes some great movies. So yeah, you have to do that with most of Hollywood. They're mostly jackasses, right? Behind the scenes, they're mostly jackasses.
I think most of the really good dialogue-driven writers in movies are kind of weird.
They're gonna be kind of weird, right? Yeah. So and it's kind of the weirdos. And again, just that's kind of harsh, but the weirdos, if you will, it's because they end up being on the outside. They're not in the inner circles. They're not hanging out with people. They're more observers, and I think that actually helps you see what's going on, see what's funny in the world, to look at it through the kind of outsider's eyes. It helps you in writing. I think that's why so many good writers are kind of what we would term as weird. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting offshoot of that. So yeah, kind of cool. All right. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Tracy. He hasn't been on a while. Let's see how his form's going on Cork Pops.
Kirkland Signature Water.
Okay.
I drink it twice.
All right.
I don't know if it's gonna pop. Good.
That didn't even come through.
Nothing came through.
Dry January here, so sorry about that.
Dry January. So dry he can't even pop a cork without drinking. To play in the cork pop thing. That's how dry of January it is.
I will give Tracy a pass because it's carnival season and New Orleans Bourbon Fest season soon. So he really does need to give his liver a little break. I'm going to give
his liver a break. Okay.
That's what we're doing. We're this is a house of dry January.
Oh.
Sounds awful.
Never vote for me for president because dry January would be banned. Anybody who says the term dry January or says I'm participating in dry January, they just be jailed. I mean, that's the kind of place I would run. That's the docket. As a guy who owns a liquor store, yes, I'm very much opposed to that.
Yeah,
so
somebody texted Barbara earlier and said they were observing damp January.
Yeah, damp. There you go.
That's what you guys should call your
low proof January.
Low proof.
Yeah. All right, McNeil, what do you got?
Larceny, keeping with my low proof, 92. So
okay. All right, decent. Beats Tracy. The good news is Tracy can start on the shows beginning tomorrow because it's January 31st. So he's got one. This is the last day. This is the last day. So starting with the next show, he can join us in drinking, which will be cool.
And think about that.
Yeah. All right. Kathy, what do you got there?
I picked up a bottle of MB Rollins corn whiskey today.
Okay.
I'm going to Von Nieters and or Heidi this. It's a brand new bottle.
Okay, solid. That is going to be probably damn near impossible to beat. So I'm going to just be the sacrificial lamb and just fall under here. So I got Boxing Bear, but this bottle's been opened recently even. So yeah, nothing as expected. Not very good. Bo, you're last but not least, so you got hope here, but you're gonna have to beat Kathy there. What do you got?
I'm going with a bottle of Yellowstone Family Recipe, and it's actually signed by Steve Beam, so maybe that'll give me
Nice.
some.
Maybe that'll be the luck you need.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. No.
Quiet on the set.
He didn't channel enough inner Steve Beam there, so yeah. Kathy wins. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
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 All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, it's going to be time for our screening talk about the movie Colorado Whiskey that's going to be happening tonight at the ABV Barrel Shop. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
I'm McNew. Don't mix your grain and grapes. Not a good time. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily. Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about the screening of the movie Colorado Whiskey.
Yes, we are. So, Bo, you're not going to be there. Unfortunately, I wish you were. If you lived closer, I'm sure you'd make the trek, but it's a little bit of a long journey to come for a movie screening. But it's a solid movie, right? I mean, it's something that people are going to enjoy if they come out and see it. And tell us a little bit about your experience of making that movie.
So yes, to your point, it is. I think it's a good, solid piece, and it was just a lot of fun because this was one of the first movies that projects that we've done where we've had kind of a tag along crew come with us and help with loading and unloading equipment, but would also they were stand-ins on just about every shot that we got, so that was pretty fun.
Yes, Count the Robinsons is a fun game to watch the movie.
Tonight,
it's a drinking game.
Drinking game. Every time you see them, everybody.
Yeah. See the Robinsons. So, yeah, it's a cool thing, and the feedback has been awesome. I know that a lot of people have been watching it, reaching out. You see the posts on social media, and then I've had people reach out personally. I'm sure you have too, huh, Bo?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's to me one of the coolest things about it is like for instance, I mean, I had met Lenny once before, but I mean, these are people that we talk to all the time, and they're on, they're on this all the, you're this podcast all the time. But like when like that was the first time I got to meet Todd Leopold, and I mean, just to meet, to really get to know these people on a different level. To me, it was super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we got to spend a lot of time with everybody that's featured in the movie. So everyone who's featured in the movie, their segment is going to be like 8 minutes to Todd Leopold is the most, like 20 minutes. But each segment that you see represents a full day's worth of interviews, time at their distillery, them showing us around and stuff like that. So there's and there's certainly a lot of footage that's not used, and that's got to be a job that I can't even imagine that Bo does. So putting that together is amazing. But when you spend that sort of time with Todd Leopold, he's in a little bit different orbit, isn't he? He's kind of like 101 in American distilling. That guy is in a different, just galaxy. I mean, the things he does are visionary, and it's just so different that, he talks about that. There's a lot of people who don't even understand what he's doing. That don't like his whiskey because it's different than they normally taste. And but he's trying to do that. He's not trying to be the exact same thing like you're getting out of a Kentucky bourbon or whatever it is he's making, a rye whiskey. He's not trying to be yet another rye. So you get to see what goes into that and how he's doing it and why he's doing it in this movie. So
yeah, one of the cool things I think is we were out in Colorado, kind of on the heels of like the American single malt as a category kind of movement, and so talking a lot about that, the people out there, which I think is really cool. Most of them, they respect Kentucky, and it's not a knock on Kentucky at all, but it's like they all were very clear that we're not trying to make Kentucky bourbon. We're trying to do our own thing out here, and I think it's working. I mean, I still have bottles that I brought back from that trip, and it's like it's they're I mean they're unique in their own thing, and I think they're every bit as I
right.
think it's every bit as good as a Kentucky bourbon or whatever.
Yeah. One of our signature things when we're filming a movie is Bo has some sort of accident at some point, and you had one on this too, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I broke my elbow, and but yeah, that was fun. It was here's the thing, like I didn't we told this story one of the last times I was podcasting, and
yeah.
What's his name?
Chet Zoller.
No,
Oh.
Mountain.
Ryan Thompson.
Ryan. Sorry.
Yeah.
We told the story, but this is the truth. Whenever so you guys were all in the
we're in like so if you imagine there's like a gift shop, I'm interviewing Ryan, getting ready because we're going over what I'm going to be asking him when his segment's next. Bo's back filming some B-roll footage. He's got Sean the distiller there, and then a guy who's like an assistant distiller with him too. And they're Bo's telling him what he needs, and they're telling him, okay, you can come over and get this shot and all that kind of stuff, right, Bo?
Yeah, so
that's what's happening.
They were cooking mash, and their mash cooker, I had to literally walk up this like 10-foot ladder to get a shot down in there. And I was coming off of the shot, and my foot got caught on the ladder, and it started to fall. And I'm not kidding. This is the honest truth. I thought to myself, how can I fall quietly? So because I don't want Ryan to come running in there and making a big deal out of it. And I don't think it was very quiet because everything just slammed.
Okay. So from my perspective, I'm interviewing. I'm sitting across the table from Ryan. I'm like, this is how it's going to be. I'll sit across from you. You're gonna look into the camera though. You're talking to me, but you're not talking to Steve. When the person you're talking to is the audience who's watching this movie. I'm explaining that to him, and then I hear something that sounds like a garbage bag of skin dropping from the ceiling. And I look at Ryan. I said, "What was that noise?" He's like, "I don't know." So we go in there, and there's Bo. Of course, I see an ass crack because he's bending over to stand up, and there's you just see it looked like Dan Aykroyd playing a plumber on Saturday Night Live back in the day. I see just enough ass crack, and I'm like, "What happened?" Like, "Oh, Bo fell off a ladder."
Well, as soon as I hit the ground, the two guys that were back there ran over, and I was just like, please don't touch me. Just let me
Don't touch
catch
me.
my breath. Let me. And then when I got up, like I could move. I mean, everything was fine. And I went to just kind of feel, and I felt this like softball right here. I was like, what
Uh-huh.
the hell?
Right.
But it never got to where I couldn't move my elbow. But for like probably
Right.
eight months after that, if I touched a certain part of my elbow, it would sting. I mean, it hurt really bad. But so I think I probably chipped something in there, not enough
Yeah.
to.
Where Bo gets lucky then is he comes down with that same day. Then he comes down with a bad case of the gout, and that's incredibly painful. So he gets that in his feet, and you forget about your elbow pain when your feet hurt so bad you can't walk. And of course, we got to walk everywhere during this. So Bo's got the gimped elbow, bad feet, and yeah,
Two things about gout, and I don't want this to hijack the episode about the
right,
film, but two things about the gout. The funniest thing was day one, um, uh, I was told you need to get cherry juice, that this is going to, you know,
right. Alleviate your gout. It's
I was
like
like,
it's a magic elixir.
yeah, that's not, I was like, yeah, thank you, but that's not gonna,
Right. Yeah.
like, after 3 or 4 days of this, I finally, like, I was literally like almost in tears, just please. So I went and got cherry juice.
Well, I went and got it for you.
Well, you went and got it for me.
You couldn't move, so it's like of course we're low budget. Bo and I are staying in the same hotel room, and he's on the decline. Each day he's getting worse with this gout, and then we're getting ready for a day of filming, and he gets up and he can't move, and now I'm kind of scared because I'm like, I don't know what the hell we do with this guy. I mean, he's clearly in a lot of pain, and then we're like, should we try this cherry juice thing? I mean, let's right now it's a wing and a prayer, but let's at least do. So I drive up to the grocery store, get cherry juice, the like the natural cherry juice, not like cherry flavored high C or something. And I get that and give it to Bo, and you drank it, and it worked pretty quick, right?
Within 30 minutes, like my
Yeah.
foot felt completely better.
Guy ran a marathon the next day just to show us. Yeah.
But here's the other thing about gout.
That didn't happen. But,
Here's the other thing about gout, and I'm not making this up.
Okay.
I can go a year and a half and not have an episode, and then I will talk to Steve, and he'll say, gout lately?
That's what happened with that.
I'm gonna have it tomorrow.
So I see him and I'm like, Bo seems to be doing pretty good. And I'm like, hey, you have any issues with the gout? And he's like, no, haven't had any problems. And the next day, that's when it started. Just like when I said to McNew, when we're in New Orleans, we're at the Bourbon Festival, and she's walking down New Orleans streets, which are like cobblestone, in these high heels. And I said, how you like your heel choice there, McNew? And as soon as I say it, it's like I pulled out a gun and shot her. She falls and rolls.
Steve is a curse. He curses
As she's
people.
falling, she's yelling at me. Why did you say that? You caused this.
You have a way of speaking things.
Steve is a jinxer.
I
Yeah,
guess.
he's-
So that tells you don't talk to
He
Steve.
speaks it into existence.
Yeah.
What's funny though is Bob's the one that told me about the cherry juice on day one, and like the fourth day, I was like, Bob, why didn't you tell me about this earlier?
Yeah, he was right. So that's just some behind the scenes stuff, and that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be talking about too. So there is a talk, and I'll be telling you some behind the scenes stuff, which is pretty fun. So the first experience we ever had with this, Tracy, the first time we ever screened a movie was at your place at the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. Our first movie, Kindred Spirits. You helped us out by doing that, and it was really a cool thing for sure.
Yeah, it was.
So we appreciate you kind of putting us on the map with that. That was an awesome thing. And yeah. And then we've done a couple other screenings at different things from time to time, which is kind of cool. I've even seen it at a movie theater, which is pretty awesome. I got to see one of our movies in an actual movie theater, which was pretty cool. So and when Royce got nervous, and he got laryngitis because he got nervous. I didn't ask him, have you ever had laryngitis? But he got laryngitis laryngitis in the middle of a movie, and the movie comes up, and then it's time for the Q&A. It was me and Royce, and Royce turns over to me, he's like, "I can't talk. You're gonna have to do all this." I'm like, people don't care about me. They don't want to hear what I have to say. They want to hear from the distiller. So yeah, that was pretty good. But I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that's going to be going on. The movie, McNew, I know you saw the movie. What do you think of Colorado Whiskey?
I loved it. So I watched it, I think the week of Christmas. I was still working, but I'm at home. So I'm like, I had it set up on my iPad while I was, emailing people. It was so good. And like, you've made some sentimental movies like Kindred Spirits, Royce's part very much was, but this one, you had like distillers crying. You had Lenny Eckstein crying. Like, it was so good.
Can I tell that story?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
So I'm not going to say who, but we had filmed another distiller the day before we got to Lenny's. And the distiller that we filmed before him did a lot of crying. So, you can figure it out.
So we're see the movie and you'll know. Yeah.
We're talking to Lenny the night before we interview. And Steve said to me before we got to Lenny's, he's like, "You think I can get Lenny to cry?" I said, "I don't know. He's not much of a crier." So we're sitting so we didn't stay in a hotel that night. We stayed at Lenny's, a house that he has. So me, Steve, and Lenny are sitting there, and Steve said, "I bet I can make you cry tomorrow." And Lenny's like, "No way. There's no way that's not going to happen. I'm not a crier. I'm just not. You're not going to do it. I'm not a crier."
Right.
So when he lost it, me and Steve both, we kind of probably looked like dicks because
laughing at him.
Right. And we're like high fiving each other. We're like high fiving each other, or So
as filmmakers, I like being able to catch raw emotion, and that is raw emotion. That's not scripted. It's not like, all right, at this point, Lenny, I'm going to ask you this. You're going to cry, and then no, it's a matter of fact, he didn't want to cry on camera, but to me, I captured raw emotion. Then I we had it in there. Both sent me over like a rough cut, and so rough cut, I bring it into the shop, and it's just Jim and I. This is back when we were, I think, still building out the shop. I don't even know if we were open yet, but we put it on and watch it, and he's like, "Well, you're going to cut that out, right?" I'm like, "No, no, that's real. That's a real human moment. That this is what this movie's about, showing the people behind these brands and what they go through, and there's ups and downs, and things can be tough. It's not necessarily always easy. And he's talking about the death of a friend that was involved in the business, and I think that that's what you want to go to see these type of movies for. We haven't done it yet, but we've got some footage with. I know that we filmed with Royce Neely's father, Roy, and he was very emotional when we did that, and he told us don't use that. And I think when that movie comes out, we got to use it. I mean, to see what that means to him, what they've been able to do at Neely Family Distillery, to watch his son do that, that's the kind of real stuff that you want to see when you're watching a movie. So sometimes I think the things we do are fun, and I don't know that we can even appreciate what that might mean down the road when people's heirs are watching this, and when the people that are in these films are all gone, including all of us, you, Bo, and anybody else that's involved in the film. At some point, all of us will be gone, but the movie will remain, and it's an important part of the industry. It's telling the story of what was going on during this bourbon boom, and I think that stuff's very important. I think for future. This could be stuff that people look back on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot.
And I think about Arlo too. Like, he stole the show, like, star of that movie. But when you're like graduating high school and your parents are like scrambling to find the cute videos of you as a kid, like, boom, right there in Colorado Whiskey, kid's already a star. Yeah.
Royce Neely, going back to him again, famously, I don't want to have kids. And they saw that scene with Lenny and Arlo, and they're doing nosing notes on some of his whiskeys. And he's like, "Oh God, that's cool. I wish I would like to do that with like a son sometime." And I'm like, "Well, you got to have a kid first. Just step one, have a kid. then you can work on that." So yeah.
But there's no guarantee you're getting a cool one, though.
Sometimes you don't get a cool one, right, McNeil? You've seen cool ones and not cool ones. So yeah. Yeah, McNew famously would take a kid, but she would just want to adopt specific ones if she sees like, oh, that's a cool one. Yeah.
I would take my niece or my neighbor's baby. Those are
that's it, right? Yeah, yeah.
Nobody else is on the table.
Nobody else. So there you go.
I want to say something to add to your point, though, Steve. Like I had posted something on Facebook yesterday because the place that I actually work that pays my bills, I do video work for them, but it's very much everything is scripted. And so, I might interview you, Steve, and then, instead of using your whole interview, I'll take, the first part of this sentence and match it with the last part of this sentence and make it say what, my company wants it to say. And it's fine for that purpose, whatever. But I just feel like the stuff that we produce, you and I, and some of the stuff I do for my journey thing, but like I just want that real stuff. I feel like that's important to be in there. And I feel like I don't think the story would be as true if we didn't leave that stuff in there. And, you can argue, some of the stuff could be cleaned up and whatever, but I like the mistakes that are in there or the crying or just the whatever, the breaks, in between.
Yeah.
That tells the story. And if we take that stuff out, to me, nobody else would know this, but I would know it's a fake story. You know what I mean? It's not the story.
With you doing
nobody wants to watch a commercial for however
that's
long.
exactly what I was going to say. I was like, it's a documentary. I like the raw stuff. Otherwise, it's a commercial. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
And hats off. All the credit in the world has to go to Bo. Anything I contribute is just gathering the people there, getting the right people to interview. The look of the film, how it goes, and all that. That's all Bo. I mean, Bo puts all that his skills. And our first movie is great, but they just keep getting better. I mean, he just keep getting better at what he does. And I think we're doing stuff that is as good as anybody out there. We do everything independently. We everything is paid for by us. We don't have investors. We don't have any connections to the movie industry. I kind of wish we did. We don't. And our movies are seen by people in the hundreds, maybe. If we're lucky, it should be in the hundreds of thousands. And I always feel like we're just one break away, just one right person watching that. And we believe in ourselves, and we're going to keep putting the content out there. And hopefully that one day, that one person will watch that and realize there's a treasure trove of stuff that we've got and we've put out there. And I don't want to quit doing it because we're not financially successful, commercially successful. We're not successful by any measure that the movie industry, measures success. We're not. We're watched by a small group of loyal bourbon fans that typically know us and have some connection to us. We're not, but I think long term, if we keep doing what we're doing at the quality that we're doing, it's gotta break through at some point. So I
do have a pretty damn good IMDb page though.
Yeah, of course. I tell you what, you want to hear about an IMDb page, you get on an elevator with Bo and he starts talking about it just to random strangers. Hi, I'm Bo Cumberland, filmmaker. Have you checked out my IMDb page?
Nope, I can't help it.
Business cards now just have like the little QR code, and it's just his IMDb page.
That's more behind the scenes. That happens because again, we're staying in the same room because everything's low budget. But whenever we're going to our hotel room and we get in the elevator and someone else gets in, as soon as that door closes, I'm like, do you realize that's filmmaker Bo Cumberland? Have you ever checked out his IMDb page? And Bo just wants to like crawl through the ceiling and get the hell out of there. It's so great. That joke will never get old. So yeah, we'll continue doing that.
It'll never get old for one of us.
On that note, we're going to wrap this one up again. Buy tickets. They're still available through our webpage, abvbarrelshop.com. Look at our events, and they are out there. Check it out. It'll be a screening of the movie as well as a talk, Q&A, and you can ask me any questions about the movie, making it anything you like, or about Bo, or times he fell, or times his pants fell off. Whatever you want to know, we'll talk about it. All right, we'll wrap this one up by talking about where people can find us. Tracy, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
I am Nola Bourbon on Instagram, and you can find me at info@NewOrleansBourbonFestival.com on our website.
All right, KK.
I am KK Cast Strength on Instagram.
Bo.
I am on all the socials under My Journey Through the American Spirits and Bourbon Sasquatch.
Okay. McNew.
On Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. We've got over 4,000 podcasts out there and counting, so check us out online, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us at the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy, the place where we're doing cool stuff like screening this movie tonight. You can find us online at abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theABVNetwork.
Great job today, gang. Finance. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Yes. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing, the ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.